What's up? I'm going to talk to you about going high. I know it's something Michelle Obama said, but I'm not trying to talk about politics, but I'm using this idea in a different way. So first of all, whether you want to teach more effectively, make more music, improve your finances, or other things, I want to share a distinction with you, this powerful distinction that could, I believe, can save decades of wasted effort and frustration. And I've been using this with a lot of the students that I'm working with in the Creative Strings Workshop, my 7-week course, which is coming up again very soon. So you should definitely check the links for that. So one way that this distinction can apply for you or work for you is to think about a goal in a specific area of your life that you want to grow in, and then apply that goal to this A or B test. A, the goal requires you to acquire new skills, resources, or capabilities. And if so, what are those new skills, resources, or capabilities? Or B, the goal that you want to achieve is something you can accomplish right now with the resources, skills, or capabilities that you currently have. So all you got to do is just take your goals and put them in this A and B column and take a harder look at them. So let me give you some examples. Let's say you're a teacher and you're trying to teach online right now. So for column A, which is an area where you need to acquire new skills could include learning how to automate the scheduling of emails, assignments, and or appointments with your students. Learning easy ways to get your students to submit work for your assessment. Or learn the best and easiest ways for you to organize and share your teaching content library. Those are things that I think would be useful, useful skills and capabilities or resources to acquire. B, things you might not need to do, but you might think you need to do. You don't need to learn fancy apps, and you probably don't even need to learn a lot of new musical skills if you can get results for your students using simpler tech or curating teaching content from other teachers. Just an example. And I want you to see how applying this A/B test, when you flip some things around, it frees you of some common assumptions that might have been holding you back in a big way that didn't need to be holding you back. That's the point, is to help you accelerate growth from really easy, almost effortless changes in how you're seeing the problem and the solution. Okay, let's use another example, playing music. So when it comes to acquiring new skills, I encouraged one of my students in the Creative Strings Workshop, my 7-week course, to study the chord progressions of 3 to 5 pieces. And I gave him some very simple ways to do this. Because this is a big problem. A lot of violinists and classical musicians, they can't follow the harmony of a song. They get lost in the form, right? And it really holds people back. So I actually encourage the student to actually lean into acquiring this skill, take other things out of their practice routine and focus on this. I gave them some simple ways to do it. Acquiring this skill was critical for this student's particular goal, which was to be able to internalize song forms, not lose your place in the form of a song. And also because this student is arranging and composing pieces of certain types. B, where it's possible to accomplish your goal with the resources, skills, or capabilities that you already have. So I encouraged another student, rather than obsessing over technical limitations, right arm, left arm limitations on the violin, rather than worrying about that, to instead use different choice of bowings, different choice of fingerings, and even different choice of notes. And this was in a piece that she was performing. Her objective, her goal, is to play the piece confidently, and now she's able to do that within the abilities she already has. Here's the third example. This is the last example, and then we're going to move on. Business. things that you may need to acquire, or skills you might need to learn, or resources or capabilities you might want to get, right? Now, you probably don't need a new website or a new album or a fancy portfolio or 10,000 TikTok followers. And this is what a lot of people are focused on. But you could and probably should acquire a few effective testimonials, maybe make one or two simple videos like the one I'm making right now, and or write out and work on a short list of well-articulated benefits that your services provide. Those things would be worth acquiring or creating or taking time to get, right? On the other hand, things that you could do right now with the capabilities you have is, for example, pick up the phone, send an email, and have a collaborative conversation with prospective clients. Even like this conversation I'm having with you right now, which, although it's just me kind of talking to you, it's still hopefully a very collaborative conversation in the sense that I'm really trying to collaborate with you by providing you with some value that you might find useful. So those are the three examples. And now I'm going to be teaching a lot of this in a webinar in a couple days. By the time you see this video, though, that webinar may have already gone, but I'm going to keep a link down here to the free webinar or something related to that so that you can reach out to me. But if you do see this now, then definitely come to the free class. Now, the distinction that I shared, this exercise that I've shared so far, just about this A-B comparison, it's the kind of thing that if we miss it, if we don't take advantage of it, it can send us down decades-long rabbit holes, literally. You lose 10 years trying to accomplish a goal and not getting anywhere. I know because it's happened to me, and I've seen it happen with a lot of my students. I mean, and this, whether it's related to your musicianship, to growing as a teacher, or a service provider, or whether it's related to your business and your career development. This distinction, this can save you 10 years. It's because it's an upper level strategy. It's an upper level way of thinking and gaining leverage in whatever growth area and whatever practice. Now, when we focus on upper level strategies like this, it takes us naturally to start thinking more and more upper, hence the title of this, Go High. It makes us go higher and higher because it's from these higher level types of thinking that we are able to solve problems more effortlessly and achieve results more effortlessly and achieve exponential results in whatever area we're trying to grow. It just takes us to thinking higher and higher levels, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. I use the term upper level strategy with an awareness of the irony, because if there's anything about me, I am kind of the opposite of hoity-toity. I mean, you can see my basement studio, my office here, where I'm doing this video from my phone. My double degree, I like to call it a double degree, comes from a state university, Ohio State University, very inexpensive university, and a combination with the School of the Streets, because I had a lot of that. If you're looking for a holier than thou type, like a concert master type or whatever, I can point you to a few people. But I'm the guy, and there's a reason that I'm sharing this. I'm the guy with homemade haircuts when I was a kid, hand-me-down clothes. My violin, I'd almost promise you, costs a lot less than your violin, probably for most of you. When I was a kid, rolling into the youth orchestra rehearsals with my homemade haircuts, my hand-me-down clothes, I would ask my mom to drop me off down the block because I didn't want the other kids in the suburbs to see the car we were driving. That's me. I know what it feels like to be an underdog. Looking up doubtfully, wondering how am I ever going to penetrate this gap, this gap between me and those suburban kids. That's kind of like part of my identity. And so my point is this: upper level thinking, upper level strategies, growth hacks, whatever you want to call it, it's grounded in practical objectives. It's grounded in the desire to get results. Like, it's grounded in that desire that I had, which was to get past those blocks that I always perceived were there in front of me. It's not just for the sake of being woo-woo or whatever you call that, like just philosophy for philosophy's sake. That's not the point for me. I want you to bear this in mind because of what I'm about to say, all right? Because we're going higher now. This is about personal development. It's all about you. As my therapist said, everything starts with becoming a better friend to yourself. Yeah, I went there. The common denominator in every equation of your life is you. Everyone is blaming outside stuff for everything. They never say, I haven't scheduled time to sit down and practice my scales a better way. I haven't done the hard things to try to get more clients or put my business in a better position. I haven't figured out how to teach online in a way that feels right for me. I haven't raised my prices. I haven't done whatever I can to improve this relationship that I'm struggling in. All of these things are accessible. It's not like these things are unavailable to us. When I started to look at things like this, I noticed that there were things in me that I had to overcome. When I started to overcome these things by teaching boldly online, even like with this video here, by making more authentic invitations, taking my own musical expression and my teaching to the next level, I found that I was actually able to do way more than what I was giving myself credit for. When I began to really show up consistently, present to my responsibility in that equation of all the areas that I wanted to grow, I got over the fear of making mistakes. I got over the fear of other people's judgments. I got over the fear of never being able to free myself from those stories, those limiting beliefs that I referenced earlier from when I was a kid, right? And then I was able to lean in and start leaning in. As a result, I've been able, even just in the last year, to finish more creative projects and find more efficient practice routines, release one video every day and an email sometimes every day as opposed to every week. I've been able to create resources in the form of time and money and creative fulfillment, community, and contribute in deeper ways to the people and the causes that I care about the most. So in this workshop that I'm giving this Thursday, which if it's later when you see this, there'll be some way to access it. I'm going to be sharing more about these top performance strategies like the one that I shared earlier. Top performance strategies to take your practice, take your teaching, or your career forward. And also, it's what I help my students fine-tune and nail during my 7-week course, Creative Strings Workshop. Our next course is ramping up here on Monday, November 2nd. And so if you see this before November 2nd, definitely check that out. Consider it. If you've got a question, you can reach out to me, leave a comment below, email me, chris@christianhouse.com. When you get this stuff right, you're going to thrive and you're going to connect in deeper ways. And I wanted to reach out and let you know that I'm excited for you to do that. So I hope to stay in touch, and please leave me a comment what you think about this, what comes up for you. Thanks.